Oh no! Alrighty, I am going to be doing a quick oil change on Ninja 1000. I've had it since I think 6,000 Ks. I think it's now out 8,000 Ks. I'll just check. And it's now 8,500 Ks. The dealer said that they had done a service when the bike arrived. Been sitting maybe for about a year before I bought it. So not that I don't trust them, but I always do an oil service on any bike that I buy just to make sure the oil is good. So I'm going to do the same. I've done 2.5K on it already, which is quite surprising. There it is. So I'll take it out. I've got 4 liters of synthetic oil, half Motul and half Mobil 1. I don't really have a problem mixing the two, and it looks very simple to do an oil change on these bikes, but I still want to record the process and just see how we get on. So I'm going to take it for a spin to Whitford and back, just to get the oil up to temperature. When I get back, we'll drain the oil, put the new oil in, and take it for another spin. Just before I go, I bought this. I don't always find Haynes manuals for all my bikes. In fact, I think I've got one for the BM as well, and I just bought this one for the Kawasaki Z1000 SX Ninja, and it tells you everything. This is a great resource. For day 10, still have a small cough, but I'm pretty much healed, so it'll be great to get out of the house. I am off to just go for a quick spin in the Ninja 1000. Just to repeat what I've said before, I'm doing an oil service today. I've done 2,500 Ks on this already from when I bought it from the dealer, and although they said it had a 6,000 K service, yeah, I'd still like to do one. I think there's no harm in more oil changes if you can afford them than less, right? So so I'll do that today. I've got 4 liters, 2 liters of Motul, Motul 1 I think, fully synthetic, and 2 liters of Mobil 1, it's fully synthetic, which I'll be mixing. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the condition of the oil is. I presume it's going to be pretty clean and clear, considering it's only done a couple of thousand Ks. But you know, you never know. We shall see. So I'm just going to do a quick little spin, put some petrol in Whitford. It's not a very long trip, and I don't really need to bring this with me, so I'll turn it off, and we'll see you on the other side. First time I've taken out Ninja in a little while, and that's because to be honest, I've been locked up indoors for nearly 2 weeks with COVID. Yeah, I picked it up at the the BMW rag rally, would you believe? I know at least one guy that I was spending the night in the bungalow with has it, so once he reported it, I decided to get a check, and lo and behold, I was positive and I felt fine. But the next day the symptoms came, and to be honest, it was worse than I thought. It's Omicron, I presume, but a lot of people who've had Omicron have kind of like been off for 3 days and not had too many symptoms and just waltzed back into work. And yeah, I'm on day 10. My rat tests are still positive, which I believe is kind of normal. But felt really lousy for a good 5 days, and I still have a small cough. But I would say that 95% of my symptoms have gone. So I got a nice text from the government saying, your isolation period is now finished. You are welcome back into citizenship, back into society. So that was on day 8. It's now day 10, so that's another 2 days. So I think I'm being conservative enough to get out, see the world. I haven't ridden this bike in ages. The last time I rode it was actually during COVID, when I installed my heated grips because I was so bored, and they seem to work fine. In fact, they're on. Let me just see. I love them. I love Apollo heated grips, man. They are just awesome. They're like built into the handlebar. I put them on my Vulcan. Very happy with them, and they're a bit expensive, more than sort of your Oxford grips with the thing that sits on the outside, but I prefer the sleek look so nicely that I put one in. One other cool piece of news is I have bought an LED headlight upgrade kit from a place in the Netherlands, I think, or Norway or Finland, or somewhere in that area. I'm trying to think of the name of them. I don't remember the name, but I will make a special video showing an upgrade. One thing I really don't like about the headlights here is that the high beam was on one side and the standard beam was on the other, and I just think it looks stupid. So these LED kits not only give you LED, and they all sort of built in without needing to cut any wires. They're super expensive, but they also give you standard and high beam on both sides, which is very cool. Okay. So I put 8 litres in and I've got 19. So it just shows you that the indicator is a bit pessimistic. Full tank, and we are heading back. Let's give this oil a little bit of a chance to heat up. Okay, we've just got back. The bike is at 87 degrees Celsius, which I think is a good temperature. It's climbing, now 88, 89. Obviously it's climbing because it's sitting, so that's a good temperature for us to drain everything. I'm just going to move these cars out the way and take it down the side. Okay, this should be good now. Kitten, coming for you. Alright. That should be good enough for me to hoist it. Let's see. Okay, let's give this a go. That's so hard. I've never struggled like that to put anything up. Anyway, it's done. The book says you've got to take off the fairing to drain the oil. I don't think so. So I'm not going to do that. I think I'm going to try and do it with the fairings on. It looks like there's a place for the spanner to go. So we'll just see how that goes. It should be fine. Alright. Now I'm going to have to put it out there to catch it. That looks good. Okay. There we go. Hopefully that won't fill up too much.
It's getting a bit full. I might just grab some in here. I need to get a proper oil pan, clearly. Now, it's quite dark, but it's not thick, so that's cool. Okay. I have, of course, spilt an enormous amount. Oh boy. Exactly what I didn't want to do. I thought I had it. For some reason I always forget to put down the cardboard until I've missed some. Oh well, it is what it is. A bad idea to use that pan. Let me try and rescue it as much as I can. What a pain. Okay, I'll have to take the water blaster to this concrete surface in order to stop the stains. At least I remembered some cardboard now. Oh. Not my best effort, Stuart. Okay, trying to fix all the bloody mess. This leaked, so never use this again. In fact, I'm going to put it in the bin right now, so I never get caught again. For some reason it didn't leak the first 2 times. Maybe it had something to do with the heat. I don't know, but there you go. I'm bagging it. There's so much oil on the ground, it's ridiculous. But I can water blast it later and get it all up. It's just a bit of extra work, a bit of extra step, and a bit amateur, to be honest. Welcome to Amateur Hour. This is the bolt, and before I put it back, I don't know, that doesn't look like a crush washer to me. Does it look like a crush washer to you? I mean, it must be. They wouldn't have put anything else but a crush washer on it. It looks in excellent condition. So I'm not going to put a new one on. I'm just going to put it back like that after it's finished dripping. Not to be caught a second time, I brought a Tupperware or Sistema. Okay. I just hope the wife doesn't notice. If I clean it properly, she may not. But I could never tell her it had oil in it. Should never use it again. Let's give it a go. Fortunately, this oil filter, I've got a K&N 303 replacement. It looks like it's a 17 as well, which is very helpful. So no need to do anything. Now this is the tricky part, because do I need to take my fairing off, or can I do it with my fairing on? I actually think a spanner is going to be easier, because I can turn it. Let me go and get a 17 spanner. Okay, I think this will be easier. Let's see. Yeah, that's a lot easier. Okay, cool. Let me show you. See? Very much easier. Probably hand loosen it now. In fact, I'm pretty sure I can. Yeah, there we go. Okay, there we go. So yes, no need to take off the fairing. It's good to know. We'll let that drip out for a while. Put the new one in and drop my oil bucket. For crying in a bucket. Oh boy, you gotta laugh. Oh, I wouldn't make this an interesting video, because this is the reality of what happens with me and oil changes. This little exercise reminds me of a little adventure I had a couple of years ago. It took me quite a few years to admit to my wife. It's a funny one, but I'll keep it short. I bought a Z4. And I decided to upgrade the engine from I think it was a 2.5 litre to a 3.5 litre. which is a fat difference on a Z4, right? It goes from being a fastish sports car to a blistering sports car. And I will just go and buy an engine, and I found one from a wreck, and it was a newish engine. And so I took it on an engine stand from the scrapper to a place where, well, the place that we're going to put it into the car and do the engine swap for me, a place in Botany, East Tamaki, BMW shop there. They couldn't do it when I needed it to be done, so I had to stick the engine for a couple of weeks in a place. And so I rented a place. I rented a storage unit. And when I went and I opened up the storage unit and I was bringing the engine in, they sort of stopped me and said, hey, just no oil on the ground. We don't like storing engines and things because it drops the occasional bit of oil and it's difficult to get off. So I said, no, professional, it's all been plugged up. There's no chance of any oil coming off. Don't worry, it's all good. So they said, okay. Reluctantly, they said, okay, not one drop, please. If you do even spill a drop, just let us know so we can come and clean it. So guess who dropped the engine on its side while trying to get it off his trailer? And I fell, and the engine hoist flipped over. The engine fell onto the ground, narrowly missed being damaged, but decided to spit out 12 litres of oil onto the concrete paver and driveway outside of the storage unit. There was so much oil. They weren't there, they didn't see. There was so much oil, it ran down as a river, finding an exit. And so it ran quite far, and it found a grate and a little drain that said, warning, drains to ocean. Oh my word. So what drama ensued. So weeks of apologizing and trying to come and clean it all up for them and water blast it and put down oil cleaners, and eventually I managed to get most of it off. There was still a stain, a big fat long stain, and they were appreciative that I turned up for a few weekends in a row to clean it, because I could have just bolted and sacrificed the $100 or $200 deposit, but I stayed to the end and I cleaned it all up, and it was a disaster, but it was a hell of a story. Well, here I'm doing it again, just only about a litre, not 12 litres, and not on someone else's private premises. So that was quite embarrassing. Anyway, we are nearly ready to put this new oil filter back on. Let's give it a go. Take off the plastic. It looks like the rings are already oiled. Isn't that nice of them? That's very helpful. Okay, so there is a bit of oil there. Okay, so I'm just going to tighten it hard enough not to leak, and then I'll come and I'll torque that next. Okay, this one's next. Now, they always say put a bit of oil in. Okay, so I'll just pop a little bit in there. Pretty quickly. Oh no! Okay. I've done it again. I am a clown. An absolute bloody clown. Let's pour some brand new oil on a spot that I haven't poured oil on yet. But okay, let me go and get the torque wrench. According to this, engine oil drain plug is 29 Newton meters of torque and the filter is 17. So 29 and 17. Make this mistake again and get it out of the way. Okay. So this is 29 There we go, that's 29. Let's just double check. It's 1 plus 28 in Newton meters. Not very hard actually, quite surprised. And the other one is 17 now. 17 I can do in my quarter drive. So I ran it for just a couple of minutes and it has dropped down to the middle between the two lines. I think I can pop in a little bit more. Don't want to overfill it, but I'll get it close to the top line. Well, as it turned out, I've put in exactly 3.8. Yep, top line. Well, not quite the top line, just under the top line, so I think that's perfect. Yay! That was easier on putting it on. Okay, it's time to take the bike for a quick test ride, make sure all is well. Sure it will be. But what a drama. Good gracious me, could I have possibly made more mess? I don't think so. Not only did I have a leaking oil pan, because it's not a real oil pan, I then proceeded to knock over one of the drain buckets that I had, a spare one, and then I proceeded to knock over one of the new pints or leader tins. So I made a hell of a mess, but job is done. Everything is back together as expected, and we're just going to take it for a little spin now and make sure it's not leaking by the time I get back. Oh, I still haven't found my gear indicator. Yeah, another day. Takes a while for me to get my mirrors sorted again after I bump them. Orc. Okay, whew, something smells bad, so let's just check my mileage so I can make a note in the log. Okay, can I see it? 8,565, 8565. And here we are in Maraetai, sitting behind people who are trying to find a place to park. Okay, we are at 80 degrees, so I think we've taken it up to temperature, well, minimum temperature that we can test it at. So yeah, I'll just do a U-E at the next parking lot and head back home. Save myself a bit of money.
Yep, we'll do a Yui here. Look at all these people that have come up and set themselves up for the day, having barbecues, roasting pigs, and all sorts of fun activities for the day. Maraetai is just beautiful. Very happy to live here. Very lucky. Okay, we are home. Let's just do a quick check underneath the bike to make sure nothing's leaking, and we are done. Forgot how nice Ninja runs, eh? Wow. Okay, and after wiping it underneath, pretty much nothing. So dry as. Yes. That is what you call a hell of a mess. Oh well. Tomorrow's problem, I guess. So just need to wash the Ninja and the two other bikes, and we'll be good for the day. Perfect.